All right, welcome back to Minor Emotions, the podcast. I'm your host, Herk. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Go ahead and head over to Instagram. Follow us on Instagram at Minor Emotions, the podcast. Follow us on TikTok under the same handle at Minor Emotions, the podcast. If you'd like to come be on this podcast and share your story with hopes to inspire, educate, encourage, and motivate other people to keep going, or just sit down and have a good conversation, shoot me an email to mineoveremotionsthe podcast at gmail.com, or you can text me at the podcast phone number, area code 702 525 6118. All right. I was about to say Big Sad, but I can't do it. Do me a favor, introduce yourself. Name, age, where you from?
Okay. My name is Tarrial Madison. I am 48. I'm from Chicago, Illinois originally. Um, I do have kids. I have a lot of them. I have currently four, and I have five grandsons. Um, Technically, I basically have a lot of kids. It was like I have a lot of them. I have godsons that I consider kids as well. So I have a lot of kids.
Okay. Um, Now, with that being said, all right, we're just going to dive right into this, right?
Let's go.
Um, have you ever had kids on your own, like birth children?
I actually was pregnant with two, and I lost them very early,
Oh,
early
okay.
term. So yeah,
Sorry to hear that.
so I never really had any.
Okay. So before we get into that, let's back all the way up. Growing up in Chicago, how long did you stay in Chicago?
14 till I was 14.
So you was 14. For you, would you say that the way that Chicago is portrayed, because I've never been, besides to drop somebody off, but the way that it's portrayed,
Gosh. Okay.
um, would you say that that's reality?
No,
No, it's
not
not.
exactly.
Okay. So how
Um,
was it for you?
we have a lot of media presence with a lot of things, and they love to glorify the worst parts of larger cities with a lot of crime.
Mm.
So I would say for me growing up, Chicago was actually very different. It was very, I'm not going to say it wasn't quiet. It wasn't really quiet. It was very, very open, but very segregated still.
Mm.
So you have a lot of different cultures that were always segregated in certain neighborhoods. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, which was predominantly black. Um, my neighborhood in general, which actually happens to be one of the worst neighborhoods um, in Chicago on the south side, which is Roseland. It actually used to be nothing but senior citizens, school teachers, and it was really, really quiet. It almost would resemble a suburban area.
Mm. So where did all the violence? Oh, so basically it's like a normal city then. Is because they make it seem like there's just violence all over the place all day long. Like you're just hearing gunshots and.
It is right now.
Oh, so it's different now.
It is very different now.
Okay.
Along, just like anything else, I would say along the way, you have a different power structure that moves. You have different social issues that change across the years, and with that comes with a lot of changes with people.
Mm.
And so, yes, there is a lot of violence all day long.
Okay.
The South Side is not what it used to be. It's very, very, can be pretty rough, honestly. Very rough for our youth. We have a lot of things that are closed down that didn't used to be closed down. A lot of closed businesses because of the violence, and there's just a lot lacking. And unfortunately, the city it takes a toll on the people as well.
Okay. When you grew up in Chicago, did you grow up with your mom and dad?
I did not. I grew up with my mother. My father was not present after the age of 4, so I grew up with my mother.
Were you the only kid?
I am her only kid. Yes.
But in your house, were you the only kid?
Yes.
Do you feel like at any point, do you feel like that was a disadvantage to you, being the only kid?
Of course.
In what ways?
Definitely. I would say you're you're not so much as super selfish, but a lot of times you can be. Um, a lot of things also that you get, whereas your friends would not be able to because they had multiple siblings in their households.
Mm.
Um, you have different views than
Mm.
other kids do when you're growing up because it's just you.
Yeah.
It is a little bit better because you're closer to, your parent or parents, However, you sometimes get to settle in and be a little bit more sheltered that way too.
Yeah, 'cause you don't get to go out and experience. That's what I was getting at. I was thinking like you lack social, like like a social identity, and just like social skills, because who are you socializing with besides like your mom?
But I didn't really like that all that much. The lady that my mom chose to keep me and watch me while she was at work, and this was basically from 6 months old up until I left the city of Chicago. She had two granddaughters at the time. We were all similar in age, and it's kind of funny because we're all like stair steps. One older, one 1 year younger, one 1 year younger.
Okay.
And so we literally grew up together because we were around each other all the time.
Mm.
We went to the same school, we ate the same food, we played together in the same area. It just turned out to be we turned into sisters
Okay. Do you still keep in contact with them?
every day almost.
Yeah.
As much as I can. Life has a lot of changes, and sometimes we're just not able to, but literally most of the time, yes, all the time.
Okay. When your dad left, you said you were 4, right? Did you ever reconnect with him again?
I tried to when I was in my 30s, and it was a very random conversation. It was like more of like, yeah, I would love to get to know you, want to know more about you, and then he disappeared. As in, he stopped
Weird.
answering the phone. Never heard from him again. Very random.
Wow. Okay. Do you feel like in any way that not having your dad, like held you back, or like just kind of like caused you any kind of like problems?
I would say never held me back in anything. I would say definitely caused a lot of wondering about, you know, why isn't he here? And if he's not here, why does he want to connect with me? What's going on with the situation? When you're growing up, you don't understand and realize what issues your parents go through. And back in the day, you definitely were not privy to that information.
Yeah.
It was not given to you. You listen to what's going on. I raise you. That's it. And so I think a lot of it was, the lack of the presence, being there. It's just more of like, okay, why isn't he at any of my games? He doesn't ever come to any of my, award ceremonies, this, that, and the other. I'm excelling in everything, and he still never comes around.
Did you ever ask your mom about that or anything like that?
I did. And honestly, my mother was very honest with me growing up. Very honest with me. And her reasoning was that she didn't feel like his presence in my life was going to be very productive. And she put a stop to that in the very beginning.
That's why you left at 4?
I'm guessing so.
Okay.
Now, to me, as I'm older, I'm like, that hadn't really nothing to do with you still reaching out as a parent. Maybe whatever you were doing was not productive.
Yeah.
However, you can still reach out to your kid. You can still have a connection with them. But I don't know what the circumstances were behind his thought process. So I would say definitely a little weird. I did ask her about it. She told me straightforward, this is what it is. I never told him that he couldn't come around and be in your life. I never told him that he couldn't come to anything.
Oh, see, I was confused. I thought you were saying that she put a stop to him being a part of your life.
Yeah, she just basically said he couldn't come around like he wanted to.
Ah, okay.
So,
I don't think, look, being as a man who's in that position, right, where you don't have custody of your kids, and you're pretty much at the mercy of your kid's mother. I just feel like that's kind of sucks because, or no, that I feel like that's good, but it kind of sucks at the same time.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks if you're used to being there all the time, but I feel like it's also still good because if you actually do want to be a part of your kid's life, hey, you get it how you can get it, and then you earn, you not earn, but like you work the trust up, and once everybody's comfortable, then hopefully you guys progress into,
Right.
You being able to be a father to your children without having to be in the presence of the mother or somebody else.
I got the gist as I got older that he just didn't want to put forth the effort.
Yeah.
And I, in learning a little bit more as I got older and actually learning my new siblings who are actually kids that he has from someone else, that are actually my siblings. After us finding each other after the ages of like 40 and my brother's like 50 something, that was very different. And to come to find out that, he's a different kind of person. Our dad is just a different kind of person. And you have to learn to accept as you get older that parents, regardless of, they're people too.
Yeah.
So their mistakes, their faults, they are what they are. You still may never understand exactly the whens or whys.
Yeah.
I would say definitely though his lack of being there never held me back into doing things that I wanted to do. However, it did. I'm not gonna lie, just to be honest, it sucked. It sucked because you, especially as a female, your father is supposed to be your first love.
Yeah.
And I cared very much for him the short time period that he was around, but no longer there. So
how important do you think that it is, like for you to get like some kind of closure from him?
Well, I did attempt to do that. Probably didn't go the right way.
What do you mean?
So I attempted to get closure from him when I discovered that I had other siblings. And I would say when you have 40 something years of built up aggression and frustration, irritation, conversations don't always go the way they're supposed to go.
Facts.
I think we both offended each other, and that was the only closure that there is.
Okay. When you were in school, how was school for you?
School was actually pretty seamless. I'm not even gonna lie. I pretty much excelled at everything. Was in most clubs. Played every sport that I could think of. Honors all the way through.
You go to college?
I did go to college, yes.
What'd you go to college for?
I have a bachelor's in liberal arts for which was basically political science with the emphasis of pre-law, and then also a double minor with English and Spanish.
Okay, with the exception of the double minors, what made you want to go for that degree?
Oh, I wanted to be a defense attorney.
Okay. Okay, now what strayed you from, deterred you from that?
I honestly would have to say it was two different things. And I would say experience is the best teacher of everything. I went to debate camp 1 before my senior year in high school, but this was a little different because you basically spent the whole summer at a university doing nothing but debate. They taught you the ins and outs of everything, and that is pretty similar to what you're going to do as, in your legal profession. Didn't like that so well. Was very great at it, but what I started to learn about myself is I run from greatness.
What do you think that is?
I don't like it. I mean, I think that it's like I won't say that I don't like a lot of attention, but sometimes I really don't. And then I may be good at something, but it doesn't mean that I like it. So a lot of people may start to push you into things because they're like, no, you're really great at that. But I'm like, I don't really like it, though. So why should I force myself to do something?
You should.
So I felt like that's kind of how it was. I left it alone for a little bit. I was like, yeah, I understand I'm really good at that, but so was I at soccer, and I hate it. So
wait, what's wrong with soccer?
Nothing. I'm very good at soccer. I like to watch soccer. Do I like to play soccer? No.
All the running.
It's not even the running, the navigating of the ball, and everything else. Like, leave that for someone else. It's just not for me.
I played soccer growing up. I was great.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome sport. I leave it to those that actually have a passion for it.
That was me growing up.
I don't.
Everybody thought that growing up that I played football or I did, stuff like that. I played soccer and I played basketball. I tried out for tennis. Shorts was too short. Golf.
Oh, gotcha.
I wanted to try out for golf just to try it, but just to try out, it was expensive. So you got to buy all the clubs and stuff, and then you don't even make it.
Yeah.
No.
My grades were basketball and tennis. Okay. And to be honest with you, never even saw tennis coming. Never saw that coming.
What did you like about tennis?
I don't even know. I think it was more of like the freedom to navigate the ball wherever I wanted it to go. And Yeah, the spiking of the ball was actually pretty cool too. Because I mean, I could do that like I did basketball. So I would jump in the air and literally spike the ball. Now, it's frowned upon. It's not really all that great sportsmanship, but I did. It was pretty awesome. So, tennis was my thing for sure. Basketball, I love it.
You still love
I
basketball?
still love basketball.
Okay. You been watching the draft?
Of course, I have.
Okay.
I don't have too many comments on the draft right now.
I gotta ask this one question about the draft. What's the one pick so far that you saw or you've heard about?
That's why I said I have no comments because I don't know right now.
Oh, okay. Now, before we get off basketball, I'm gonna ask you: did you hear about the big trade that happened?
Giannis?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
What do you think about that?
I think that's a little crazy. But sports nowadays is geared off of some of everything, and trades happen definitely not because of the abilities of a player. It has nothing to do with that too much anymore. It has nothing to do with the setup of the team and what's always going to be smartest and best for the team. Sometimes that happens in the back office and has nothing to do with the player.
True.
And it kind of sucks that way, but I mean, that's business.
So I got 2 questions for you about basketball, and then I promise you we'll switch. Which level of basketball excites you the most?
Okay, you're going to have to be a little bit more specific. What do you mean?
Like high school,
High
college,
school, college?
the NBA, European, WNBA?
Excites me the most would be WNBA. Because it's just the players are so much more exciting to look at. I feel like literally it's not even so much as they have more passion than the NBA. But I feel like sometimes when I'm looking at NBA games now, because I grew up in the Jordan era, Kobe, Shaq, you don't see that anymore too much. It's more of like, oh, okay, yeah, they made a good play. It's awesome. Yeah, he shot a 3. Great, cool. You don't get that excitement anymore that we used to have. And to me, it's missing.
Yeah.
So I can look at a game all day long and be like, yeah, cool, all right, awesome.
I feel like the NBA doesn't really. I mean, I watch pretty much every Warriors game. That's the only reason why I have NBA League Pass, so I can watch every game because I'm a Warriors fan. But besides that, I feel like the NBA is kind of boring until the playoffs.
Yeah. Until you get down to that, I'm a little lost in the sauce now. I will keep up with my Bulls always. Okay, what are you guys doing? Sucking again this year? Okay, great. Awesome. Nice to know nothing's changed right now. We got our 6, so we're going to roll with that. But, yeah, I mean, until we get to the playoffs, it's just, yeah.
All right, so I don't really know too many WNBA players, so forgive me. So on the NBA side, top 5 all time.
Of all time, shoot. Yeah. Sue Bird has to be up there.
So you're going to go WNBA and then NBA?
Yeah, we can go both.
Okay.
So let's go ladies first.
Okay.
WNBA, Sue Bird up there, top of the list. Dana Taurasi, for sure. Lisa Leslie,
okay.
Candace Parker.
Don't you miss the Jordan of the WNBA?
Let me ask you a question. Who do you think is the Jordan of the NBA?
Sheryl Swoops.
Slightly. I mean, she's in the top 5. I was like, but I wouldn't call her the Jordan of the NBA.
Well, that's what they refer to her as.
But Candace Parker debunked that when she came on.
Yeah, Candace Parker's filthy.
She debunked it when she came in.
What about old girl?
Aja?
No, the girl from that coaches South Carolina.
Dawn Staley. Yes, of course.
I'm about to say, hold on.
We got to give her flowers, yes. But is she in the top 5? No.
Okay.
She definitely.
I'll leave it to you to say that because I don't know as much about WNBA.
Definitely awesome, but I would say I would call her number 6 or 7 for sure.
Okay.
But those will be the top 5 for women.
Okay, men. This is where the comments are gonna go crazy.
But the comments shouldn't go crazy because this is based off of my opinion. Okay. Now I go back and forth all the time outside with people about who's the GOAT. Okay, well, I have definitely different definitions of a GOAT. And I feel like if you're going to be called the GOAT, that means all the way around. That also means sportsmanship, too. You're going to have to throw that in there. So that obviously knocks out our boy there, LB. So LB would never be called the GOAT. I was like, yes, he's a great player. He is. But he's going to fall down the list because he got to fall behind the greats. MJ, Kobe. Here's where it gets a little tricky at. Oh,
She about to say Larry Bird.
no. Bird would be like 7.
Okay. Okay. I can see that. So you got Jordan, Kobe.
And I'm gonna actually let me stop you there. I'm gonna say within my time period, so I can knock the other comments out the way.
Okay.
I'm gonna say during my time period, because we start going to try to list everybody. I'm like, well, then MJ actually technically would get knocked down the list too. We start listing the real greats.
Yeah.
We're gonna go MJ, Kobe. Number 3. Gosh, dang it. It's not gonna be Pippen in my eyes, of course. No.
I wouldn't have said Pippen in top 5 either. All time? No.
No, not of all time.
He's like top 50.
Oh man, I'm struggling with this one because Patrick Ewing pops up there in my mind. I'm not gonna say he's number 3 though. I'm still gonna throw Barkley up there. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to throw Barkley up there for number 3.
All right.
Number 4, definitely will throw in Bird.
Okay.
I'll throw him in it for number 4. I'm not gonna lie. He's filthy.
Yeah.
He's filthy.
Yeah.
Number 5. That's a toss-up. And the reason why I say it's a toss-up is because there's so many that should be right there in that realm. That I'm gonna leave number 5 off. I am.
All right.
I'm gonna leave number 5 off.
We got your top 4.
Yeah, I can't.
Jordan,
I couldn't even pick
MJ,
it.
Barkley, and Bird. Okay.
Patrick Ewing.
So Patrick, you're number 5. All right. There we go. All right. What's the biggest life lesson that you learned from playing sports?
Ooh. Probably the same life lesson that I learned playing darts lately.
What's that?
You're not done until the game is over. You don't stop. You don't give up. You don't lose your steam. You don't lose your passion until it's done. Even when the last couple of seconds are there and you're like, man, there's no way I'm going to hit this 3. There's no way I'm going to get this touchdown. This is too difficult. I'm tired. I'm weary. I don't want to do it anymore. You don't stop until it's done.
All right. When did mental health become like something that you're aware of?
Wow. Okay. Very early in age, to be honest. And I'm gonna say the reason why is because I had a friend growing up, and her, whether I knew it or not. Now I will say this much: we weren't privy to too much information. However, you catch things when you're a kid here and there. And then sometimes, like I said, mother was pretty upfront and honest with me about things. If I come and ask her, she's going to tell me. She may say sometimes, like, you're not old enough to know that yet. But I had a friend growing up, and I noticed that her mom would be gone sometimes for long periods of time. And I was like, and I also noticed that, she was a housewife, but she wasn't exactly like the regular moms that we see. She was a little flighty. And what I mean by flighty, like, she would let us do whatever. And that's cool, great, and awesome. But sometimes, like, she would zone out. We're at her house. Like, she would be gone. She would walk off somewhere. And we're just sitting there now. Thankfully, we're 80s kids, so we clearly know how to take care of ourselves, and we know how not to do stupid things. But she was a little all over the place. And as a kid, you don't recognize what some of those things mean, but you also notice that something's not quite right.
Yeah.
We don't see our parents acting like that all the time. We don't see your parents acting like that. So something's not quite right. Started to understand that, like, literally, like, she would be going away because she would be going away to a facility because she needed it. And I would ask my mom about that, and she would explain it to me. She said, well, she goes to a mental health facility because she needs help. She never got into depth of any of that, the rest of what that meant, but she said it just because she needs help and she's sick, but she's sick with her mind. And she needs help with doctors to understand why she doesn't feel well. So she explained it the best to her ability as far as to letting a little kid understand and know what that meant. But I started to understand because I started to see some of her friends come from these facilities over to visit and things, and I was like, starting getting older. You're like, okay, I know what's going on. I know what this means. Okay, I get it now. I get it. Like, that's when I started to understand what, mental health was. I will say this much: it was still very frowned upon. It was still something very shunned, even in the 80s especially. It's like, well, something's wrong with you. Or they would use the word, oh, they're touched. It's okay. Touched. Right. And I'm like, what does that mean? But
now, look, fast forward, 40 years, 50 years, however many years it is, since the 80s, you said it was, taboo, it was, shunned. Would you say that it's much different now?
In a way. In a little way, it's not as taboo, but I will say it is still not as welcome.
Now, when you say it's not as taboo, are you saying that because people can have conversations about it now openly and people don't? But if you was to tell somebody that, hey, like, I got schizophrenia or I got, depression or whatever, people are still gonna look at you,
of course,
sideways. They're gonna prejudge you. They're gonna treat you a certain way, whether that's like shunning you away or they handle you with gloves on. So I still feel like it's exactly the same. I feel like people will love to have the conversation about mental health, but they don't want to do the work about mental health. And what I mean by that is, we can sit down and we can talk about it all day long, like what like, oh yeah, I got this bothering me, I got that, but you won't help your friend
right
across the finish line. You'll get tired of them eventually and be like, oh well, they either one, they're crying wolf, or two,
they're always depressed.
They're always
oh my gosh, every time they come around, they're like always down in the dumps. Oh my goodness, I just want to have a good time. I don't want that around me. Oh yeah.
Or this one right here, where that depressed friend or that sad friend, they see the call coming and they be with their friend. They be like, oh my god, they calling again.
I just don't have time to deal with this right now.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, so that's why
exactly,
I feel like it's still the same, it's just in a different way. Back then, you just couldn't talk about it because people didn't understand it. Now it's like you're gonna be judged, or you're gonna be like, I understand why people who deal with mental health, why they feel alone, because everybody, once you open up that you're sad or you're going through something or whatever the case may be, and it's not resolved or your mood hasn't changed in the time frame that your friends and other people want you to be done.
Get over it quick.
Yeah, then they kind of start washing their hands of you. They start not inviting you to functions, start inviting you out, stop texting you.
Let me stop you there. Those are not your friends.
Of course, I agree.
Those are not your friends. Those are good time buddies. Those are associates. Those are not your friends. And unfortunately, there's another thing that people fall short on. Those are not your friends. Those are not, when people always say day ones, the reason why they have that terminology is because day ones are like, they've been there already.
Yeah.
Through the thick of things, they know why you're having these issues. They know why you feel this way. They know exactly why you're going through this. So they are your day ones. They're not going to be like, I'm going to wash my hands of this, because they've heard it 1,500 million times, and they're still going to be there to hear it again. Associates and good time buddies don't care, because they just want to go out, have a couple of drinks, and be like, oh my God, you're down in my mood. Yeah. Or, oh my God, we don't want her coming around. Let's just not invite her. Because she's always negative, and those are not your friends.
Now, without saying any names of like establishments or people within that establishment, we share a location that, pretty much where we met, right?
Exactly.
At this place, at this bar, how many times have you seen people who are friends, buddies, and then all of a sudden they all come in and now they're beef and this person's getting on your nerves, they're not talking to them, and then the next time they come in, they're back buddies again? How many times have you seen that?
Every day.
Now, my question is, are those what you would call fun time buddies, or are those day ones? Because they've been friends for years. This is their cycle of friendship.
And that can be so. But then that goes into, that's a toxic cycle of friendship. Okay? I'm not going to say that they're not friends. If they've been doing this forever, for years and years to come, that's a totally different thing. Now, you just hang out with somebody when you come to this spot in this location. They don't know anything about your family. They don't hang out with you at your house. You guys don't share anything personal. You don't connect on a personal level. Um, and then, you're good timing it up 1 minute. The next time you're beefing about something. Those are not friends. And yes, I have seen that every day.
Yeah, me too. The short time I worked there, it really wasn't that short though. I was there for a minute, but at this time, I want you to do me a quick favor. See that wheel next to you? I want you to spin it, and then let me know what it lands on. Right here next to you.
You want to spin this wheel?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a trick question, huh?
Nah, it's got some good questions on there. While she's spinning that, it's coming to an end. If you guys haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram at Minor Emotions the podcast. What you land on?
Let's see what we got. Still moving.
Emotional abuse. So basically, emotional abuse. First, tell me what emotional abuse means to you, and then tell me about a time where you experienced emotional abuse, how it affected you, and how you dealt with it and overcame it.
Okay. Let's see. Emotional abuse. What emotional abuse means to me is basically it's not physical. Clearly, it's something that it's abuse. There are abusive words, abusive thoughts, and that comes from abusive words and abusive comments that invoke abusive thoughts. I feel like emotional abuse can be something that you can actually inflict on yourself sometimes, based off of perceptions of yourself, perceptions of things that the people have said about you, comments that they've made, maybe not even in a negative tone, but you've taken that and it still invokes emotional abuse upon yourself. I just feel like emotional abuse is more of like a mental thing than anything. However, it can come from a person, it can come from thoughts, it can come from experiences in life. So it definitely is a mental thing that can be housed in you. And honestly, a lot of people don't realize emotional abuse can live in you for a really long time to forever.
I think it might last. I say this with caution. I think it might last longer because the battles and the scars that you have in your brain, those are everlasting.
Yeah.
Physical ones, I mean, and physical obviously affects your brain, so that's why I say it with caution. I'm just saying, like, you're not gonna walk around and feel that pain no more, like the physical pain that you endured, but you're gonna forever feel that mental pain.
Oh yeah,
You know
for
what I mean?
sure.
So, have you ever experienced any kind of emotional abuse?
Plenty.
Like what?
Plenty. I'm of about a bunch of 500 different minorities, so definitely plenty of emotional abuse. I would say maybe growing up, and as we were talking about growing up without a father, sometimes people don't realize the comments that they make around kids. They stick. Oh well, they don't have a father. You know, this is something else, so maybe not invite them or maybe not mention that around them. You hear those things, or you feeling bad and feeling some kind of way because you're like, okay, well, they have two parents and they're always included in a lot of the different things that they do, but I don't. A lot of emotional abuse when it comes to things like that. Or my mom has to work all the time. She's not ever really around to be able to do things with me as she would want to. It's not her fault, but she works all day long.
Yeah.
Emotional abuse. You have a lot of that. Growing up, getting older, we can say the military, yeah, it's a lot of emotional abuse with that too. I mean, you have stereotypes about women in the military. When you enter as a woman, you're already going to be looked at a certain way. You're weaker. You're not as strong. You're not built like a man, so you're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to fight this way. You feel like based off of hearing all of these opinions and backlash about things, you have to overly perform. And that even comes in the adult world, in the business professional world. Same thing. You know you're good at what you do, but you have to prove it 1,500 to a billion times more to not only your boss's boss, to coworkers that actually may be underneath you in their positions, but because you feel like you're looked at a certain way and perceived because you're a woman, because you're a minority, even though diversity is always there and inclusive, you still feel like you always have to prove yourself on every level to excel. So I feel like along the way, society invokes a lot of emotional abuse to us through different ways and sectors. And we in-house all of that. And while we're trying to come up in different ways in our life, we literally still live off of this emotional abuse that goes along the way. And it's just like, it's not just society. It comes from friends, it comes from family, the church, schools, companies we work for, people that we're around on a daily basis. Emotional abuse, like literally, I would say I have experienced it along the way through a lot of different parts. I would say, even like I said, military, professional wise, even when I was younger, even being lighter skin tone. We're not even going to talk about that part.
I was gonna ask
The
you
emotional abuse about the red bone, the light skin. Yeah, it's way easier for them. Those are the pretty people. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. When you joined the military, did you already? Because you said you had you birthed or you were pregnant twice, but obviously now you date women. Were you already dating women when you joined the military?
Nope.
No. So when did you start dating women?
Probably about 5 years after I got out.
Okay. So about how old was that? Like 30?
Yeah, about 30, 31.
Okay. What made you change?
Oh.
Because everybody always, I've had people on before and I've had conversations, and usually, I think we had this conversation where, usually it's
The coming out story.
yeah, well, the coming out story, but usually it's the coming out story. Basically, it's always surrounded by some kind of like sex trauma or something like that. And I'll go ahead and say I know you told me that that's not the case for you, but how did it happen? Well, first, before you answer, sorry, because I want to know too. In your coming out story, when did you decide that you liked women over men, and why?
Okay, in the coming out story, so it comes off of that. So you have to hear that in order to understand how.
Okay.
So basically, after getting out the military, I decided to stay in Washington State, and so I said, okay, I'm gonna stay up here. But guess what? I've been in the military for so many years. I had chances to explore Washington, not too much up here. I know nothing about this place. I really actually, not even not knowing anything about this place, but I got stationed up here in my early 20s. I know nothing too much about life, period.
Yeah.
You think about it. So I decided, because I'm a writer and I write a lot of books, I write a lot of poetry, things like that. I'm going to write a book for this year. And that particular year, I was like, okay, what we're going to do is, it's almost summertime. We're going to do something different every weekend of every summer, of this summer. So we're going to figure out something that we're going to do different every weekend, and we're going to write about our experience with it, like all of it. And so I thought about that. I had a couple of excursions or whatever. Decided that one day that a friend of mine reached out to me and asked me, hey, you were in the military. You drive trucks. I was like, yeah, I did. A lot of them. They were like, hey, can you do us a favor? We really, really need your help. We need you to drive a float truck in the Pride Parade. And I was like, what's the Pride Parade? And they're like, and they're snickering and laughing, and they're like, okay, so we mean gay pride. And I was like, why would I want to do that? They're like, we just need somebody to drive because our driver backed out. We're not used to driving trucks that big, and most of us are going to be on the float. I was like, okay, man, I'll go ahead and do this. I don't feel all that comfortable with it because I'm like, I'm not gay. Am I supposed to be doing that?
Yeah.
Naive as hell. Seriously. I'm like, okay, but okay, I did. I went, did the parade and everything. Hung out with some beautiful women. They were awesome. They were great. We had great conversations. And the friend of mine that asked me to drive it said, hey, you know what? Why don't you hang out with us? It's Pride weekend still. And I was like, oh, no, I'm good. I'm just going to go back and chill. They're like, no, just hang out with us. We understand that you're straight. We're not saying that you need to do anything you don't want to do, but just come hang out with us. We have a party that we're going to tonight. Why don't you just come hang out with us? And their friends are over there laughing and they're looking at me. They're like, so you seriously are not gay? I was like, no, I'm not. I was like, okay, I get it. I've always dressed like a tomboy. Always.
I was gonna ask the question.
Friends, family, cousins, whatever, they all know that I've dressed like this forever. Okay? Forever. It's what's comfortable to me. And I'm definitely not one to make you to have someone make me do anything that I don't want to do. If I don't want to wear that, I'm not going to wear it.
I was definitely gonna ask. So, if you did become gay until you're in your 20s, did you used to wear dresses?
Oh yeah. Younger days.
I gotta see a picture.
Younger days. Well, my mom has plenty of those. Yeah, no, I did. I did. I think the last time I wore one, it felt so awkward that I was just like, this feels weird and wrong. And okay, I'm done. Take it off.
Hey, all you guys who are watching this, who go to the bar that we go to, make sure you have salve. Oh, we didn't get to that yet. Make sure you have tea. I'll say that. Explain to y'all or show y'all the picture of her in the dress because I need to see this.
Actually, I've talked about this with several people, honestly, because they've all asked me. My homeboys, everything. They're like, so you used to wear dresses? And I'm like, yeah, I did, buddy. Clearly, I told you. I was like, yes, I did.
I just can't picture it because this is all the only way I've ever known you.
But you got to think about it this way. Think about it in an aspect of you've had women that have been married for years and years, large families, and decided later on in life after their kids are like 30-some, 40-some years old that they've literally come out the closet finally and they're...
So do you think that they were gay the whole time?
No.
So
I was like, some of them not. I was like, I feel like they made a choice or they made a decision that they wanted to peep into that, and maybe they always thought about it and just never did, and then they finally felt the freedom to do it.
Now, what do you think about when people say that you're born gay?
I don't think any kind of way. I think think that everybody has their perspective and own opinion about that. And honestly, I have thought about that, and I can't answer yes or no on that because for me, I can tend to be so black and white about things to where I'm like, well, there's no science to really back that up, is it?
Yeah.
There really isn't. I can't tell you who was created what way and how they were created. I would never ever say a person wasn't. I can't say that. That's not for me to say.
Yeah.
I embrace that if anyone feels that way. Then I was like, okay, well then cool then. And then you were. I was like, if you came out the womb and when you got of age and you felt like you just never fit in the body that you're in, then you feel that way. I'm not going to tell you you shouldn't feel that way. I'm not going to tell you that's wrong.
But and mind you, I'm asking these questions because I know you're outspoken and you're just going to keep it real. Mm-hmm. And I'm not, none of these questions are meant to be like funny. I'm being very serious. So like the people with what you just said, with the people like the trans women, the men, wouldn't that be more of their lane, like their reason of why? Like, oh, I was born a boy, but my whole life I felt like I was not, I shouldn't be a boy. I felt like I was like visiting this body. I felt like I should have been a girl. So that's why now I'm trans and I turn into a girl.
Sometimes I have had experiences with friends that literally didn't discover that they felt that way until later on, and they were like, you know what, I feel more comfortable this way, and I didn't always feel that way, but I'm starting to feel more comfortable this way. I'm a girl. I feel more comfortable as a boy.
Now, as a gay woman, right, that has children, how do you feel about school systems and stuff teaching kids about the LGBTQ community and all that?
Yeah, a lot of people are not going to like this answer.
Who cares? It's
what I'm going to say is I feel like just like sex ed, there's a certain point in time where that needs to be discussed with children, and sometimes it just does not. I feel like just with sexual education, there's a certain point when that comes up. Okay, that's the time when that needs to come up also. However, do I feel like it's the school's responsibility to discuss that with your children? No, I feel like that is something that your household needs to be discussing. I feel like that needs to be a family discussion. It needs to be had with the parents and the child, because I was like, think about our sexual education growing up. If I went off of that, my goodness,
It was nothing.
it was nothing. I was
Yeah.
like, so you still came forth with how many confusions and questions? If you're going to rely on them to educate your children about anything, I would say don't. That needs to be had with the parents and the child. Definitely.
I agree. I would say this though. I think that,
Does inclusion need to be taught? Yes. We are living in a very different world.
but that's a different type of education.
Yeah.
Like just teaching about the different types of people and stuff like that, and what people are into and stuff like that. Lifestyles. There you go. But what I was gonna say was that I think that, well, one, sex education is, no matter if you're straight or gay or whatever, you're gonna have sex of some type. So
Right.
sex education is important. I think that the types of lifestyles that people choose to live, I think that shouldn't be taught at school, especially not in like elementary school and middle school. I think that in high school, I think that if you want to offer that class and make it as like an elective that you can choose to take,
Exactly.
then yeah, because as I know for me, if
Yeah.
I was in school right now, I wouldn't want to, and I'm not knocking anybody, live the lifestyle you want to live. I just don't see. I would be pissed off if was forced to take a class on that, because that's not like. I mean, maybe if you was teaching a class on how to interact with these people,
Like we say, inclusion.
Yeah.
Inclusion is very different. However, I do not want my elementary school, anybody's, taught about that or any other type of sexual education.
I heard
And, like,
that Washington. I heard that Washington State. They're voting on it.
They're because they're thinking of, in the modern time frame that we're in now, they're exposed to more, depending on your household and what your children do. They're exposed to more, so it's better to approach it earlier on in age. They don't even know exactly. I was like, I don't feel like the children are not even going through adolescence yet. So they have no idea what you're talking about. They have not experienced anything. They're not even thinking that far. Why are you rushing it?
Yeah.
Why are you rushing it?
It shouldn't be until. It shouldn't even be until, like, I'm telling you, like high school, like that should be like a elective you take in like 11th, 12th grade, where you have a little bit of maturity, because even as, like, middle school, let's be real here. 90% of the kids in middle school are sexually active, right? But I recall and I remember in school, especially females, you could date a female, and then y'all break up, and then now she's dating a girl, and she's on this whole I'm gay train for like a year, and then next year she comes back and she's back with boys, So I just feel like people are learning themselves. They're learning what they really like. Maybe she learned that she likes both, and that's what she's doing. But I just think that trying to classify yourself as a youth, for all you guys who are listening, I just think that it's too early. Like, live life first. Don't. I'm not saying which way is right, which way is wrong.
Neither am I. I was like, because I feel like it's more of a they're not ready at earlier ages. I'm like, I don't feel like that should even be approached at all.
It's just like when they talk about people, kids, youth and stuff getting, the sex changes and stuff, and I'm just like, that's a permanent decision, and you're still young, man. You got a lot of life to live. You don't know if you really want to be, the opposite of what
We have had a lot of shows out there following the journeys of younger kids going through transition, and like I said, I can't comment on that. I really can't, because I'm like, I honestly, I don't know what's best for you.
Yeah.
I don't know what's best for your children. So I just feel like that, honestly, which is why it's called sexual orientation, until you get to the point of you're ready to begin the talks of sex, then we don't need to discuss any of that right now. Like, we don't need to even embark upon any of that with them. You're just like the clothing and things like that. People are rushing all of that with our children, and it's like, this is where you're starting to run into problems with. They're not thinking that way, but you're starting to force it in areas that, I'm like, it's going to start causing some problems. I'm like, you really don't want to, man. I mean, they weren't even thinking that way.
I'm really big on the youth,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that because obviously, at one point we were youth, and
Were we
our,
really?
yeah,
Oh
and our,
gosh.
our our aunts, uncles, our communities, because back then the community raised you. Um, they taught us, and they, the best they could. They guided us.
Yeah.
So it's our job for the next generation, right, and so on and so forth. With that being said, what advice would you give to the youth out there today, the general youth, about just going through life, um, if they're battling with something, mentally, some mental illness, and then specifically advice to youth who are, you know, trying to figure out, are they a part of the community, the LGBT community, or they already made that decision and they just struggling with being comfortable in their own skin. Like, what advice would you give to all of them?
Hmm. I would say, I mean, all the way around. My advice to the youth now is basically learn to enjoy your age where you are.
Mm.
Don't ever think that there's something that you can't do, because you can. All things are possible. You need to figure out the ways to get there, and sometimes they may not be easy, but that doesn't mean that you don't strive for them. We have a lot of youth that are run into stumbling blocks and they feel like, it's too hard, I don't want to do it. I would say no. There are always ways to figure out how to get something done, even as far as going to college, reaching for further education. Definitely do that. You have a lot of people out here trying to discourage that nowadays, be saying, hey, you don't need a degree to do this. It's not so much that you need it. I was like, it's going to be helpful for you in the long run.
Mm.
There are a lot of bits and pieces in college, higher education, high school, that you don't realize that you need out of those courses. It's not so much as you need to know what trigonometry to figure this out on a daily basis. Learn to strive for higher education. Learn to figure out how to always learn more. We never stop learning in life. I don't care what age you are, whether you're in your 90s, you never stop learning. Always strive to learn more. Never accept no.
Mm.
Someone tells you no, you can't do this. No is not always a no. A lot of
Only a
people,
no if it's involving permission for
right?
sex and
If
safety.
it's illegal, right? If it's about safety, yes. I was like, but when it comes to your dreams, your goals, don't accept someone telling you
No.
no, you can't do that, or I don't think that's a good choice. Well, they're basing that off of their opinions. Don't accept that.
Mm.
Don't accept I failed at this, or and I shouldn't ever try again. Always continue to try at something. Michael Jordan lost a lot of times. A lot of times.
He also got
It,
cut from the basketball
right,
team.
in his career, and he still continued on. When you have goals and dreams, continue to strive for them. And I would say, as far as feeling comfortable with yourself, that goes with this too. You may have goals and dreams that you have in life, and you may not feel comfortable in the skin that you're in, and even trying to reach for those goals, because you may not feel accepted. Still, continue to feel accepted with yourself. You have to love yourself in order to be able to go through the journey of life. It's not going to say that everybody else is going to accept you. People that are going to watch this podcast may not accept anything that I said, anything that we discussed. They may be like, well, I don't even know why she said that. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. Life doesn't end.
Yeah.
Life doesn't end. Continue to strive for your dreams. Don't ever stop trying to learn things. And definitely learn to love who you are first before you try to get accepted or feel accepted by anyone.
Mm.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to take you further than anything. When you have the confidence to love yourself, then you start to understand how life and the journey of life goes. And whether anybody accept you for the skin that you're in or not, you accept you. Who cares? Keep it trucking.
Yeah.
They don't like you, it's fine. Like we just described, tribes, friends versus kick it buddies.
What do they call them? Fun time buddies.
Fun time friends.
Fun time friends.
Fun time friends. I'm like, kids are gonna, they don't even realize they're even, They're experiencing this right now. One of the biggest lessons that mom used to always tell me, we all used to hear this. Everybody's not your friend.
Mm.
Everybody's not your friend. But what you need to understand is you're going to find tribes in life that are for a reason, a season, and then for a lifetime. Don't get mad about these, because in life, you're always going to have somebody that, like, literally, they may be around for just a reason. Just one reason for you to get something, for you to get some ideas from them. Another lesson to the youth: always stay open-minded.
Mm. True.
Always
Yeah.
stay open-minded, and that comes with learning every day. Definitely, it's like you need to understand that, like, sometimes the fun time friends, they're great, man. They're great to have fun with, but you need to learn how to level out the people that are in your life, because whether a lot of people know it or not, and our kids are starting to understand that in some very horrible ways. The people that you kick it with, the people that you're hanging around with, some are great, some are goal oriented just like you, some will help you go far, but some will tear you down and destroy the journey that you're trying to trek. Some of them will destroy your self image along the way.
Yeah. No,
You
how
have
about
to be
that?
comfortable in the skin you're in for yourself. You have to love you first. Then everything else, keep an open mind and don't ever give up. When they
All right.
say don't ever give up, they mean, hey, when it comes to your goals, man, a lot of people are gonna be like, ah, man, I don't think that's a good idea at all. You shouldn't even do that. That does not mean that you shouldn't do it. It's like, if you really feel passionate about something, if this is something that you really want to do, okay, maybe you had a stumbling block here and there. Maybe this didn't go out that way. Maybe you couldn't find the money for this part. Figure out other avenues in life to get to where you want to go, because if you have a goal in life, you should always strive for it.
Yeah. Facts. Um, do you practice self care?
Absolutely.
What kind of things do you do for self care?
Didn't used to have me time. I call it me time.
Okay.
So my me time is literally I do urban float.
What's that?
Urban float is the sensory pods that they have that you go get in. It's like it has the Epsom salt water, and you go in. You can close the little eggshell down, or you can leave it open. It has nice soft music. I do this for an hour every 2 weeks.
Dang.
Some
Okay.
people know it. Some people don't know it. I don't know. I do it because it's the one time that I can shut my phone off, leave it somewhere, and sometimes I actually leave my phone in the car. And I get in, and I just shut my mind off. Sometimes I've actually fell asleep in the thing. Um, I shut my mind off. If it's for nothing but an hour,
Why is that important to you to shut your mind off for, if nothing, for
because
more
it's
than an hour?
very hard for me to shut my mind off. And I feel like my mind runs from the time that I open my eyes until I go to sleep. It runs, it runs, it runs. It's like, you have to do this, you got to do this. What are we doing tomorrow? What's going on here? What's on our calendar at work? What are we doing over here? Do we have anything scheduled this weekend? And it's like this all the time. So when you actually shut your mind off, it gives your not only your mind a time to rest, but it also gives your body a time to rest. And your body definitely needs time to rest to replenish. People don't realize that. I was like, you can actually make yourself sick by being exhausted.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was gonna ask you this too. Do you think that a lot of people out here, their mental health struggles? I don't want to do air quotes, but their mental health struggles are. I don't want to say self-inflicted, but they're caused by themselves by just not, like you said, not turn their mind off ever, like constant. Because I know me, I'm a thinker, right? And so, like, I agree. Like, I wake up, and as soon as I wake up, it's like, I gotta do this, gotta do that. We need to do this. I gotta fix this. I call it man brain, right? Um, and so sometimes I get frustrated. I get overwhelmed. Then I start to like be verbal. Sometimes it can be like verbally attacking people. And what I mean by that, verbally attacking, not like cussing them out or nothing like that,
It's
but
more
just
like snapping.
snappy, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm very big, and my family will tell you I'm very big. If I catch it, I will come back and own up to it and apologize for it, because and if I know it's coming on, or I'm in the midst of it and I'm working on that, I've told them before. I told them like, hey, like just so I did this recently. I was like, hey, just so you guys know, I got XYZ going on with me. So if I'm a little snappy, that's why. I apologize in advance. You know, because I think that when you have so much on your shoulders that sometimes you can't afford to turn. No, let me back up. You forget to turn your mind off. You forget to take some time, some downtime. As much as everybody around you is telling you, you need to relax, you need to rest. You just, like, for me, like, everybody, my whole family will tell you, like, I'm literally like the Energizer Bunny with no energize and no energy. Like, I'm constantly doing something, but I'm always tired. I'm constantly tired. Like, you can clearly see that I think it was recently, we were at an event, and my mom she goes, you okay? You better pass out. And I said back to her, I was like, I feel like I'm about to.
Yeah.
But I'm still, I think we were loading furniture into a van or something like that. I forget where we were at. But I remember this a couple weeks ago, my mom said that to me, and I just think about that. On that topic, have you ever told somebody that you would die for them? Truthfully.
Yes, I have.
Okay. Why did you tell them that? And there's a reason I'm asking this. Why did you feel? What did you feel like you were going to gain from telling them that you would die for them?
Nothing. I actually didn't even tell them specifically. I just mentioned it one time. I said that to my mother.
Oh, okay.
Because I would honestly say that may be the only person that I feel that way about.
Not even your kids?
Well, yeah, them, of course. But I was like, I've never said that to them, though. I was like, I've never said that to them. I'm like, of course. I'm like, it's more of like, that's a given.
Okay, I got you.
I'm like, but
I
think it was just more of a moment to where I just needed her to hear that at a point in time, but never specifically just say that to anybody. I'm like, it's a little weird and cryptic.
I bring that up. I bring that up because I had a guest recently. She said something, and I wanted to share this with you and the viewers who may not have seen that episode. She said, men will say that they'll die for you. That's a sign of love, sign of care, right? Which, okay, But she said, no man, would that same man, would he live for you? Yeah. Meaning that, would you change your your unhealthy habits, your bad habits? Would you stop drinking? Would you stop smoking? Would you stop eating all those food that's keeping you a diabetic or whatever the case may be? I'm not trying to throw shots at diabetics, but I'm just saying, like, all the things that you know that you need to do to be healthy, would you do those things to live for the person that you also would die for? Because, and when she said it, it stunned me for a second. I was just sitting there because I was like,
it's an eye opener.
Yeah, because nobody ever says that. No one ever says, man, I love you so much, I'll live for you. I guess it don't sound cool.
It's not
tough.
No, it's not even that. I was like, I don't even think you telling someone I would die for you is tough. I feel like if you're saying that, one, you're in a vulnerable spot to begin with, to even say that to someone with an open mind. But I think it's just not the lingo, or it's not something that you would ever hear someone say. So it's not a common statement that comes out. So for anyone to say that, it would have to be something that you literally thought pressingly hard about to even say that, like, I would live for you. And that's something that would stop someone in their tracks to be like, okay, what do you mean? What are you talking about? It's a little different.
I think now that I've heard it, I think if somebody just, obviously you don't hear that much, so there's that aspect of it. But also, I just feel like if somebody told me, like, like, man, Herk, I love you, man. I'll do anything. I'll live for you. I think now that would touch more than saying you'll die for me.
Now that you say that, I'm like, okay, well, do I need to say that to a couple of people? I'm like, I think I've done enough, but I mean, maybe I should say it. I'm like, I
it's just because I started thinking about it on this aspect, right? Like, let's just say, like, with your spouse, right? You guys get married and supposed to be till death do us part. You're supposed to live for eternity, be married for eternity, all that, right? That has to be
the vow of all time. Think about it. I'm not even going to lie to you. Think about it. That has to be the most statement of statements that you could put in a wedding vow. I would live for you.
I wasn't going to go there with that. I was
going to use the current vows and say, because I marry people, so if you think about it, I'm like,
that's what I'm saying.
I've never heard, I was like, to be honest with you, of all the vows that I hear people exchange, I've never heard that piece even being put in there. I might even recommend it. I'm like, so do you know what that means?
Yeah, because I mean, I'm telling you, I did it out of studio. I did the interview with her at her property, and I remember I was sitting on the couch and she said it, and I just sat there. I was just like,
It's deep.
yeah.
It's extremely
And
deep.
it's so deep that I've literally been talking about it for 2 weeks now. And I brought it back on the podcast, but I gave her credit. Big shout out to her, Jessie. Do me a favor, reach in that little bucket right there, swing your hand around, and shovel it up a
now
little
I have to
bit.
pick one?
Put it
Let me make
back,
sure I
pick
don't put
another
the
one.
one that I put in here. Okay, let's see. All right, what we got?
Yeah, read it out loud.
Okay, I'm trying to read this period. I'm like, to you. What is? Okay, yeah. I'm still struggling with the word. That was like one of the words.
And hey, listen, guys. The bad part about this is what I wrote.
Living a what life?
What does living a good life mean to you?
Oh, okay, that's a good one. Wow, that's another deep one.
Yeah.
Okay, living a good life. Living a good life means to me being financially stable, being healthy, having my family be the same way, my friends. Honestly, being able to experience a lot of the things off of my bucket list. Being able to be a productive member of society and do some things for others that nobody has ever done for them before. Making people laugh, making people happy. I would say that's what having a good life means to me, is being a good person. And trying to figure out how to be a good person at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. What would you tell, if you could tell everybody, if everybody in the world stopped, and you could say, you can give them one message from the heart of Savage. Let's back up first.
You didn't never even explain to
We're
our
going to get to it right
listeners.
now. We're going to get to, that's what I said. We're going to back up real quick. I know the question. We're going to get to it. Explain to us, because you said your name was Tarrial.
Correct.
How did the name Savage come about?
It's pretty plain. It's pretty plain. It was given to me when I entered the bike set. Okay. So the motorcycle clubs realm.
Now I'm gonna ask you this question about not one specifically, just about them in general. What's the difference between a motorcycle club, and a motorcycle gang?
I'm not sure that I can actually speak on that because I don't know what a motorcycle gang is.
Okay, touche.
Yeah.
I just hear them being referred to a lot. That's why I always knew them as, and then I hear clubs.
And I constantly have to correct people. I'm like, everyone around here is in a motorcycle club. I don't know what a motorcycle gang is.
Wouldn't the gang be like the I was about to say the Hills of Eyes?
Those are mutants. I don't know what that is.
No. What are they called? Hell's Angels. That'd be more like a gang, probably.
No, I don't think so.
No.
You know, that's one of those areas where I'm like, I can't speak on them because I don't know them.
Touche. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, I don't know. I know of the club, but I don't know them, the members of it, and I honestly can't speak on what they are.
Yeah. Now, can you speak to why they gave you the name Savage?
Well, I would say that the reasons is because I don't take any BS. I speak up for myself, and very rough around the edges, but very calm in the same respect.
I was really hoping you was about to say some shit like, because I was really a savage on the bike, man. I'd be doing special Ks, wheelies, and...
Well, I did that back in the day, and I also used to do ghost riding and everything else.
What's ghost riding?
Ghost riding, you don't remember when they came out with Ghost Ride the Whip?
Yeah, but what's that on a bike?
Oh, easy. That's the same thing, but it's very, very freaking dangerous. That's when you take your bike out and you're on a straight road, straight ahead, nothing there, mind you. You quickly jump up on top of it stand up on it and jump back down again.
Oh, I seen somebody do that in Vegas on the highway
Yeah, pretty
at
much
like
the
70
same.
miles an hour.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing.
Stupid.
But now I used to do that on top of cars too. Like, but I would climb out of the window, climb up on top of. Yeah, mother, if you ever hear me say this, please remember I don't do that anymore. I was like I said, young people, ignorant choices. Don't do that, please.
Well, look, man, I appreciate you coming on today. I really do. Um, when it's all said and done, I was going to ask you that question, but it's not worth going back to. It's not that big of a deal. This question means more to me. When it's all said and done, and you have to depart this earth, wherever your destination is, that's not the point. What do you want to be most remembered as or for? What do you want your story to be, remembered as?
I lived life to the fullest that I could live it. And I may have not enjoyed every minute of it, but I definitely tried my best.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, I appreciate you coming on. We didn't dive too deep into your story, but I feel like we had one hell of a conversation. Would you agree?
Oh, definitely.
I'd love to have you back on. All you guys probably seen at the beginning of this episode, you've seen her social media handles and stuff like that. You guys give her a follow, and stay tuned because me and her are going to be working on getting a certain episode, like a little panel together that we're going to work on. And we had it scheduled already once, and all y'all who are supposed to be on it, you know who you are. That's all we're gonna say. But no, we're gonna be bringing her back definitely for that episode. She's gonna help co-host it. Yeah, she didn't know that until now. But after having her on, I see she can talk, so we'll have her help co-host that event. But look, man, I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, man. You've been loyal to the podcast. I've seen you like in public, like telling people about the podcast and stuff like that. That means everything to me. You coming on, keeping your word, and coming on, keeping the appointment, being flexible. That means everything. So, with that being said, now this is the part of the episode where you get to ask me a question.
I'm gonna give your question back to you.
All right, go.
What does living a good life mean to you?
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
You haven't even seen all the house yet. But no, living a good life to me, I would agree with most of your answer. I would say that most importantly, having a life full of peace is very, very, very important, and that's high up on there. Financial stability is important. I didn't say rich. I said financial stability. I don't think that the world is set up and designed for all of us to be rich.
I don't think we want those problems anyway, to be honest with you.
We think we do. But financial stability, family, positive family, healthy family. My podcast is still be doing recordings. People to still be interested in this because it's very important. I think that's it for me.
Okay.
But look, for real, I appreciate you coming on. I hope that you have all the blessings. You deserve it all. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep being you. Being vocal. That's one thing that I've always admired about you. Liked about you is that I know we've bumped heads a couple times. This happens, but one thing I always admired was that you at least speak your mind. So that I respect about you. Keep doing that, and keep taking care of those kids. And we out of here. Peace.
All right.
Yeah, throw the deuces up.